I see what the problem is. If I move the queen here to h8, black can simply just put the bishop right here and block it. So that doesn't do any good. But there is another way that I can attack the king. And that is by moving the rook here to d8. So when I put the king in check, I think black has no choice. Black has to capture the rook at d8, to which the white queen can just recapture again. Okay, king is attacking the bishop here on f5. So I am going to guess, let's see. We really don't have to. I mean, we can protect the piece. If there's a threat, you go through the ABCs of chess. Attack, block, capture, defend, exchange, or flee. I'm just going to make a stronger attack. I'm going to take my queen and attack the king at g6. And that is a checkmate. So let's go to the next problem. Okay, here the rook is at f1. I'm just about ready to promote, although I do have what's called a hanging piece here at c4. So I may want to protect. Oh, yeah, I think I see what that is. See, I want to promote this pawn, but it's being protected by the rook. And so I can chase that rook. It's kind of like a piling on of the pin. And so I'm going to guess that knight to f3 is the correct answer. Okay, that was the correct answer. Now we have to take a look at this pawn. Is the pawn going to be able to promote before I have a chance? Let's see. I think it really doesn't matter. I don't think the pawn is going to promote before I put the king in checkmate. So I'm going to go ahead and take that rook. And the last problem is correct. Because I have a one-move checkmate, all I have to do is get this knight right here to f3, and it's checkmate. I'm assuming the queen could move up here, but then when I put the... Yeah, it's going to be checkmate. So yeah. Let's go on to the next problem. Okay, the king moves to c1. I don't see any threats there. I really can't put the king in check here at a1 because the knight is protecting it. So let me see if there might be some other things that I can do. That rook is being protected. I really would like to get rid of this knight right here, because if I could get rid of this knight, then I could put the king in checkmate. This one's kind of a tough one. I might need some help with this one. So if you want to put this on pause and think about it, give it a try. I'm not really sure. I'm going to take a guess that it would be queen here to b2. It puts the king in check. It gives me a free pawn, which really isn't much. Wait a minute. I'm going to try that and see what happens. Okay, so now king to d1. So what? Oh, I can put the king in check again, but not with the queen at b1 because the king will escape from there. But there's a place I can put the king in check where the king won't escape, and that is with the knight. And so by putting the knight to c3, the king is in check, and it is checkmate. All-time high tactic correct. Some of these tactics can be kind of fun. Okay, king moves down. King protects itself. I don't see any threats anywhere. I could put the king in check. Ah, I see a fork. Do you see a fork? I can win a piece for free by moving the knight from c5 here to e6. king moves out of the way, I just grab up that nice yummy rook. Okay, king moves down. Is there any threat? And I don't see any threats. Is there a way that I can attack the king? I could, but it's not a very strong attack. We could trade, but that doesn't look too good. I see what it is. Okay, this is what's called an overload. So when you do these tactics, you kind of have to look at what's going on, and you kind of have to think about what is happening. So the queen here is trying to protect both the knight here on c8 and the rook here on e7. But the queen can't protect both of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my rook here and I'm going to capture the knight on c8. And what's going to happen is the queen is going to go ahead and capture, well, it can't, because if the queen captures the rook on c8, then I'm going to take my queen and capture the rook here on e7. I'll do 2 more of these. So these are the kinds of things you need to think about when you are doing tactics. Okay, bishop. Is there any threat? I always ask myself, what's the threat the first time? And I don't see any threats. So is there a way? Oh yeah, this is a pretty easy one. Can I attack the king? Maybe it's not quite so easy. At first I was thinking queen here to h1, but that's being protected by the rook. So that's not the right answer. Let's see, could I put the king in check here? I could, but then the pawn, you know what? I actually think that could be the right answer. Because if I put the king there and the pawn recaptures, then the rook would go here. The rook could go here, but then I think that's it. I think it's knight here to g4. And when white recaptures, we take the rook and put the king in check. In fact, is that checkmate? Yes, because we have a bishop here protecting this. So as you try your tactics, first of all, look at the move that the opponent makes and ask yourself, what's the threat? Then after the threat, then look for a way to attack the king. If you can't attack the king, look for ways to attack the queen. And if you can't find ways to attack the queen, then look for unprotected pieces. And sometimes with the tactics, you'll see them before you even need to look for them. So I hope this helps you out when you do your tactics. And if you do maybe 10 tactics a night between now and state finals, your game will improve. So good luck, everybody.